Good afternoon, butterflies. This is the Awakened Butterfly, and I am back with another video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please stay for the entire video. And if you enjoy the content, please don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is having a blessed and amazing afternoon so far. To all of my day ones, thank you so much for all of your love and support. And to all of my newcomers, welcome to the channel. And I thank you guys so much for all of your love and support as well. As you all can tell by the title of this video, I will be talking about the origins of Friday the 13th. Before I get into this video, I would like to give a shout out to my credible sources. Couponing to Disney.com, OpenBibleInfo.com, FridayThe13th.fandom.com, TikTok, and ThemoWeekly.com. Thank you guys so much for your credible research sources. Guys, since October is the month of Halloween and also considered as the darkest, most spookiest month of the year, I thought I would take this time to shed some light on the origins of Friday the 13th. In today's video, I will be discussing the history, traditions, inspired projects, and events behind the number 13. Friday the 13th is known as a day of bad luck. However, before this day was marked as being unlucky, there has been an unfortunate history linked with the number 13 long before. The relation between the number 13 being an unlucky number in biblical history. Now, during the Last Supper, there were 13 dinner guests, the Messiah and his 12 apostles. Judas was one of the guests in attendance, serving as the Messiah's most honored guest. And this apostle also betrayed him. Now, let's not forget that the Last Supper took place on Maundy Thursday, which is followed by Good Friday, the day the Messiah was crucified. Now, there is also alleged research evidence that proves during the time of Adam and Eve, the apple that they ate that caused them to descend from the Garden of Eden was on a Friday, as well as Friday marking the day Cain brought his brother Abel to his demise. Or how about the superstitions surrounding the number 13, like the Norse mythology? Loki, the god of tricks, mischief, and deception, was seen as a harbinger of misfortune. The story surrounds a dinner being held in Valhalla, the grand hall of the Norse gods. There were 12 gods originally invited to the dinner. However, Loki became the 13th attending guest by crashing the event. And he also planned the demise of Balder, which was the Norse god of light and joy. Now, guys, also in relation to the bad luck associated with Friday the 13th, there's the story of Freya, which she is the Norse god, the goddess of love and sorcery. She is also associated with beauty, magic, death, and warfare. Freya is also head of the Valkyries, which was an all-female warrior group that had the ability to fly and were also known for having the ability to annihilate other warriors. Check this clip out, guys, and I'll be right back.
Freya, the Norse goddess of fertility and war, holds a prominent role in Norse mythology. Freya is often referred to as the goddess of love. However, this title has been given to her by modern scholars and does not appear in any Eddas or sagas. With unmatched beauty and strength, she symbolizes the duality of nature. Freya's chariot, drawn by fierce cats, and her prized Briseigmen necklace sets her apart. As part of the Vanir fertility deities, she stands alongside her brother Freyr. Freya's essence combines tenderness and might. She's both a passionate lover and a powerful warrior. In the aftermath of battles, she welcomes half the fallen warriors to her realm, Folkvanger. Freya embodies the complexity of human emotions and power, making her an intriguing figure worth exploring.
And guys, the word Friday is also an English word that derived from the Scandinavian days of the week. In Scandinavian terms, the word Friday is considered Freya's Day. Although her association with the number 13 is unknown, many believe that her connection comes from the number 13, representing the divine feminine, as well as women who have their periods and menstruate approximately 13 times a year. There are other alleged sources who believe Freya's link to the number 13 comes from an old story about a witch covering that performed a ritual under a full moon. And that night, the goddess Freya joined them, making the covering of 12 witches 13. Freya was a pagan goddess who influenced the S word in female worship. Although at the time of Freya being worshipped, when Christian faith was beginning to rise, Friday the 13th was still considered a day to celebrate her. With her being the goddess of love, the S word, and fertility, you can probably guess the type of occult rituals and events that were taking place. She's also known as the Queen of Witches and to be associated with omens of bad luck like black cats. In the Middle Ages, Friday marked the witches' Sabbath day, and in the Bible, it marked a day of tragedy. Now, guys, there are several superstitions that mark the origin of Friday the 13th, like the unfortunate event that allegedly took place on Friday, October 13th in the year 1307. This is where hundreds of Knights Templar, a dominant military and religious order group, was arrested by the officers of King Philip of France. Check this clip out, guys, and I'll be right back.
Friday the 13th and the Knights Templar have become intertwined in popular culture due to the historical events surrounding the Templars and the superstitions associated with the number 13. The Knights Templar were a medieval Christian military order founded in the early 12th century. They were known for their financial and military capabilities and played a significant role during the Crusades. However, their wealth and influence eventually led to their downfall. On Friday, October 13, 1307, King Philip IV of France ordered the arrest of the Templars, accusing them of heresy, blasphemy, and other crimes. This event marked the beginning of the end for the order, as many Templars were arrested, tortured, and executed. The Templars' assets were seized, and the order was eventually disbanded. The association between Friday the 13th and the Knights Templar gained prominence in the 20th century through various works of fiction, conspiracy theories, and popular culture. Some theories suggest that the Templars' arrest on Friday the 13th was due to their secret knowledge or hidden treasures, leading to the superstition that Friday the 13th is an unlucky day. These ideas were popularized by books like The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, which fictionalized the Templars' history and their connection to Friday the 13th. However, it is important to note that these theories are largely speculative and not supported by historical evidence. In reality, the Templars' arrest on Friday the 13th was likely a result of political motivations and King Philip IV's desires to eliminate a powerful rival. The superstition surrounding the day predates the Templars and has roots in various culture and religious beliefs. Overall, the connection between Friday the 13th and the Knights Templar is primarily a product of popular fiction and fictional storytelling rather than historical fact.
And guys, although they were being held on charges of various criminal behaviors, their main reason for being incarcerated was so that King Philip IV could have full access to their finances. And as a result, many of the Templars were executed. Now, in more recent unfortunate events that marks the Friday the 13th suspicious is the German bombing that destroyed Buckingham Palace in September of 1940, the 1964 demise of Kitty Genovese in Queens, New York. In November of 1964, over 300,000 people passed away from a cyclone in Bangladesh. November 1970, there was a reported disappearance of a Chilean Air Force plane. And Friday the 13th also marks the tragic demise of rapper Tupac Shakur in September of 1996. The history of traumatic occurrences that surrounds this day has caused many to develop two phobias, one of which is meaning to attempt to avoid or have a fear of the number 13, and the other phobia is the fear of Friday the 13th. I can't pronounce them. They're rather long, so I'm going to post them on the screen for you guys right now. Now, although the number 13 is feared and avoided by many, it has also been known as an inspiration for others. In the late 19th century, Captain William Fowler developed a way to eliminate the tainted events associated with the number 13, including the unofficial rule about not having 13 dinner guests. He did so by becoming founder of a secret society called the 13 Club. Now, the secret group would meet routinely for dinner on the 13th day of every month at the Knickerbocker Cottage in room 13. They also performed a routine ritual which involved members passing under a ladder and a banner that read, in English translation, "Those of us who are about to die salute you." This ritual is done before being seated to a 13-course meal. Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, Chester A. Arthur, and Theodore Roosevelt were 4 U.S. presidents were members of the 13 Club. Now let's talk about motion picture and television producer Walt Disney, as well as the founder of Disneyland, and his special love for the number 13. His love for the number 13 is so deep that he incorporated the number throughout the functioning of his amusement park. He makes it appear as a number of luck for him. For example, if there is a 13-minute time wait with an event occurring at the Magic Kingdom or the Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios, this is a notification letting waiting guests know that they have little to no wait time. Also, in the Tower of Terror, located in Hollywood Studios at the Walt Disney theme park, there's an elevator service that has a 13-story elevator drop. Also at Disneyland, the number 13 is incorporated into 2 of their addresses, which I'm going to show you on the screen right now. One being the Disney theme park and the other being the Disneyland Resort. Also, there are 2 parks, which I just mentioned, the theme park and the resort. They both contain plaques at the entrance, and they both have quotes that read, "Here you leave today and enter the world of yesterday." Many believe this has no connection with the number 13, but many believe that it does due to the quote consisting of 13 words. Last but not least, there's the M for Mickey and Minnie. And many believe that there is no coincidence surrounding the M in Mickey and Minnie Mouse, considering the fact that M is the 13th letter in the alphabet. Now, guys, let's talk about a very popular 1980s horror film series that many believe is based on a true story. The name speaks for itself, and yes, it is Friday the 13th. Check this clip out, guys, and I'll be right back.
Jason Voorhees was born to Pamela Voorhees, a single mother who worked as a cook at Camp Crystal Lake. As a child, Jason drowned in Camp Crystal Lake due to neglectful camp counselors. His mother blamed the counselors and went on a killing spree before being killed herself. Jason rises from the grave and becomes a supernatural killer, seeking revenge for his mother's death in a series of movies. Jason is known for his hockey mask, which he first donned in the 3rd movie of the series. The mask has become a symbol of horror and is instantly recognizable. Jason Voorhees has become a cultural icon and a staple of horror movies. His story has been told and retold through movies, comics, and video games, ensuring his status as a legendary horror villain. Jason Voorhees will return to Crystal Lake this year in a new TV series produced by Peacock called Crystal Lake.
Guys, this horror classic is composed of 12 sequels, with Jason Voorhees being the adversary. The film is based around Jason, who was born in the town of Crystal Lake on June 1946, to his mother, Pamela Voorhees, and his father, Elias Voorhees. Jason's mom, Pamela, kept him isolated due to his condition, hydrocephalus, in which his head was abnormally large, and he also suffered mental disabilities. Raising him as a single parent, she isolated him from everyone, not letting him attend public schooling, homeschooling him instead. Although Jason suffered a mental disability, he always respected his mother. He never questioned her and always obeyed her. In 1957, Jason's life changed when his mother Pamela was hired as a cook at Camp Crystal Lake. Since Jason was always with his mom, this would be his first time being around people, especially other children. He was around other children a lot when he went to work with his mom. Jason was constantly bullied by the other children, and one day when trying to escape them, he ran to a dock where they caught up to him and threw him over, leaving Jason to drown. Investigators were unsuccessful in finding Jason's body, and after investigating the scene and questioning the camp faculty, Jason's demise was determined as accidental and no one was charged. Now, although Jason was last seen struggling to survive, Jason did not drown. He actually survived. It seems that Jason was able to make it out of the lake safely with no signs of help. His only instinct was to stay there and wait for his mother to find him. Over time, he drew into survival mode and find an abandoned home to reside in, surviving on small animals and plants. He also survived off of the left resources from the abandoned summer camp. Now, over time, Stephen Christie, the son of the founders of Camp Crystal Lake, reopened the camp. Pamela, Jason's mother, annihilated him and his employees. Now, Jason's mother, Pamela, met her demise during her annihilating spree. Jason, witnessing his mother being decapitated, sparked his antagonistic behavior. As a result, Jason fatally attacked the woman who attacked his mom, bringing her to her demise. Years later, he attacked the teenage boy, and from there on out, he continued to carry out his mother's legacy by bringing nearly anyone who entered the camp to their demise, if not everyone. I know you all are wondering, what does the movie have to do with Friday the 13th? Well, screenwriter Victor Miller says that it's nothing more than a title. However, many believe this classic movie series is based on a true event. According to the researchers of Oxford University Press Dictionary of Superstitions, there's a story that is very similar to the tale of Camp Crystal Lake's unfortunate events. In Finland in the 1960s, there were 4 teenagers who were camping by a lake. The teenagers were found brutally annihilated. The 4th was found brutally injured, but he was still alive. So he was the only witness and suspect at that time. They were found annihilated in their tents on the shore of Lake Bottom. He was found severely injured on top of the tent. Now, he as the 4th victim did survive, but he was badly injured and considered as a prime suspect. Check this clip out, guys, and I'll be right back.
Some people say that it was death itself that came for these kids. On June 4th, 1960, 4 teenagers set up camp on the shore of Lake Bodom in Finland. In the middle of the night, they were attacked through their tent. They were viciously bludgeoned and stabbed. 3 died from their injuries, while the 4th, Neil Gustafsson, survived. He was found lying on top of the tent with a fractured jaw and concussion. There have been suspects, but no one has been arrested except for Niels, 44 years after the crime, but even he was released. It remains the biggest unsolved crime in Finnish history, but stranger still is Niels described the attacker as a black shape with bright red eyes.
Now, guys, years later, around March 2004, law enforcement arrested Niles Gustafson, the survivor and the beginning prime suspect of the Lake Bottom tragedy. Now, although the scenarios of Camp Crystal Lake and the Lake Bottom events are somewhat similar, there's no real evidence to prove the movie's title and story was actually based on this real-life events. The number 13 seems to hold some sort of significance when associated with darkness and matters of luck and superstitions. The number itself is not evil, but occult leaders, Satanists, witches, warlocks, they have diabolically associated this number with iniquity. Now, at the end of the day, guys, there's no need to fear this number or the day Friday the 13th. Only the people who use this day to do wicked things are the ones that should actually fear this day, because they will be the ones that, have something to repent for, and they have a God that they have to answer to. Now, no one's perfect, but at the end of the day, to purposely commit sin and to do evil is a whole nother thing. I just wanted to come through and drop this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member or purchasing a Super Thanks, it will be gladly appreciated. I love you guys so much. I really hope that this video shed some light on some things and answer some of you guys' questions about the origin of Friday the 13th, as well as the number 13. I love you guys so much. Stay safe out there. Stay prayed up. Continue to take care of yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. And until the next video, peace and blessings. Mwah.